Just bought like a whole bunch of different webcams, okay? And this is because by the end of this video, I'm gonna convince you guys why you need to buy a webcam. And if I don't, then my name isn't Tausif Hussain and you can call me whatever you want. But look, the question is, why do you exactly even need a webcam nowadays? Because pretty much like every computer or like a monitor, even laptops have webcams. So you're probably thinking, why do I even need to go out and buy one of these webcams? But it's not that simple. You see, the problem is majority of these cameras inside these computers are absolutely mid. In today's day and age, image and presentation is everything. Like you probably wouldn't show up to a interview or a business opportunity looking like this.
Don't want to make assumptions based on people's physical appearances.
Of course not, but does physical appearance include smell?
First impressions are everything. In today's day and age, pretty much 90% of the meetings are happening online. Don't fact check me because just trust me, bro. When you have a really crappy image versus a really clean, crisp looking image, it actually makes a pretty big difference. It does change how people perceive you. So last year when I was searching for the best webcam, a company called Obsbot came across my radar and I absolutely loved their webcams. So this year, Obsbot also reached out to me again, and this time they said, you know what, we're gonna give you money to go ahead and buy whatever webcam you think might be a better webcam or the best webcam to compare to our webcam. And they're not gonna have any say over my results in this video and my thoughts. So I thought, you know what, bold claim. Let's go ahead and actually fact check them. That being said, today we're gonna be looking at the Obsbot Tiny 2 Lite, and we're gonna compare that mainly to this guy here, which is the Insta360 Link 2. Both are two of the best webcams you can find on the market. Okay, first and foremost, form factor. Look, both of these cameras are actually pretty dope. Both come with a gimbal here, so this really makes it easy for these cameras to do things like tracking your face and tracking your body around wherever you move, even doing things like desk view, which these are actually fantastic at. Now, I do like one thing that the Insta360 has, which is this detachable little piece here. So you can go ahead and actually set this up on your computer first before you go ahead and attach your Insta360 Link, versus with the Obsbot, this thing is kind of like built in. So I guess some people might prefer it built in because then you don't have two separate pieces. You can just go ahead and take this and attach it on top of your camera. But yeah, overall in terms of looks, the Obsbot does look a little more modern compared to the Insta360. Okay, now for the most important metric, image quality. Now both of these sensors are very similar, but there are subtle differences that I'm gonna show you. Right now we have a nice well-lit environment. Just by eyeballing this, I think the Insta360 is overly sharpened, which gives that a little bit of a digital image look, versus the Obsbot definitely looks a little more natural. But my big issue with the Insta360 again and again, and I've noticed this even last year, is the colors. The colors I prefer much more on the Obsbot, only because it looks more natural, versus I look more orange slash reddish on the Insta360. So if I was to like kind of compare it, I would say the Obsbot is more like Apple, where you have natural colors, versus on the Insta360 you have more saturated colors, kind of like Android. Next, I wanted to see what hand tracking would look like, because that's a huge plus with these webcams. You can actually control them with gestures. So for example, in this case, I would actually just put my hand up and the cameras would start automatically tracking me. And this is a really great use case if you are farther away from the computer. Next, I wanted to do a quick autofocus test, and first up is the Insta360 Link 2, and you can tell that it is an almost instantaneous focus. Whereas with the Obsbot, there is a slight delay, but this, in my opinion, makes it look more like an actual camera, because you do have that transition of focus. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is tracking. Now, in today's day and age, we like maybe moving around, and we kind of want the camera to be focused on us. So both of them are now instantly locked onto me. So let's go ahead and test this out. So both of them kind of move wherever I'm going. If I move back, there you go. Okay, so both are somewhat similar. Now, in terms of tracking, honestly, both of these are gonna do a fantastic job. I don't think I have issues with either of these. I think they work really well. I do like that the Obsbot has more options here. Like I can go like headless, so that if I don't wanna show my head, it literally won't pick up my head, and it'll only show whatever I'm kind of like showing with my hands here. So let's say I wanted to do like a headless YouTube channel or something. this is fantastic because then it'll make sure that it's always focused on anything but my face. So yeah, I think in terms of tracking, both are fantastic. I think they're both pretty good. I think the Obsbot is slightly smoother in the way that it kind of tracks versus the Insta360 is like more zippier. I think they're both pretty great. Now, the other thing that I want to check, and this is probably my most important thing for these cameras, is low light conditions, because right now you're in a pretty well lit environment. There's a lot of sunlight, but a lot of times you're using these cameras, you're going to be taking like a Zoom call or a meeting in a hotel room where the lighting is not really great, or maybe you are in an office setting where you just have tube lights up above and not really much nice daylight or window light coming in. Okay, now we have kind of low light situation on both of these cameras, and yeah, this is what the image quality looks like. Let me know in the comment section down below which one you prefer. I think both are pretty good, but again, I can tell that the Insta360 is kind of like messing with the colors a bit versus the Obsbot does look pretty good even in low light settings. I just don't like how red the Insta360 is making me. Another quick test here, audio. This is what the audio sounds like on the Insta360 Link 2. So this is my voice coming out of that. And then we're gonna use the mics on the Obsbot. Now this is my sound and my mic on the Obsbot Tiny 2. And let me know in the comment section down below which one you guys prefer. Now, both apps I found in terms of user experience are pretty great. Tons of controls for what you want to do with these cameras, allowing you to fine tune them quite a bit. The Obsbot, I did notice, has a slight edge here because you do get a bunch more AI effects to choose from. So you can literally play around with this as much as you want. Now there's two more cameras that I want to talk about, two more webcams, and these are from the same company, Obsbot, as well as Insta360. Now these are like their more portable, smaller brothers, if you may. And I actually really like these. I think these are like perfect for like if you're like traveling, if you're somebody who's going out and about, or just wants to throw one into your bag in case you need it. This is called the Obsbot Meet 2. It seems a little more modern and comes in a few different colors, and it just looks a little bit newer versus the Insta360 looks similar to most webcams out there, as well as its older brother. And this is the Insta360 Link 2C. Now, one thing I do like about the Insta360 is that it has this like built-in lens cover, and it's like this different, it's like a red color, so you know when it's like activated, versus for Obsbot you have to use this like magnetic cover here, and it kind of just snaps onto the top. So yeah, it's slightly different take. Also, one more thing, these don't have like moving parts like the Gimbals, like their older brothers. So you can like throw this around, throw it into a bag, and nothing's really gonna happen.
Now, although there is no actual gimbal, the Meet 2 does have autoframing. Now, this is great because although the camera can't move around, what it will do, it will still automatically try to keep you in the center of the frame, which is really great if you do move around a little bit during calls.
So let's go ahead and throw these on the actual computer here, and we'll see how they actually look. Eyeballing this right now, I think the Obsbot looks more natural. I do like the colors and how it looks and everything like that, versus in the Insta360, it looks much more sharpened, like to the point where like my skin, my beard, everything looks a little bit fake. Also, there's one thing about these webcams that you probably are really gonna like if you are into like streaming and stuff like that, is these can be switched into portrait mode and actually be used in portrait mode. However, there's one big difference here, and that's the main reason why I actually prefer the Obsbot. With this, you kind of need a tripod so that you can basically go ahead and turn it to the side here. Just not physically doable with the mount that you have here. Now, one of the things I also wanted to try with this is the low light, less than ideal light. There's no real like studio lights or anything pointing at me. This is how it would look.
Now, the good news is between all of these cameras, you can't really go wrong with any of them. They're all really good and some of the best webcams you can buy on the market. However, if you do prioritize having a more natural look, something that's a little less digitally sharpened, the Obsbot, in my opinion, will help you get there. Now, between the smaller version and the larger versions of these webcams, I think the larger version definitely makes a case for itself because of the gimbal that's built in. However, the smaller one I would get if you do travel quite a bit and you need something to kind of just throw into your bag. In any case, I hope you found this video helpful and you found the webcam that you're looking for, and if you have any specific questions, let me know in the comment section down below. Until then, I'll see you in one of these two videos.